Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an iron ball build guide in Elden Ring. So this build, you have balls for hands, and I'll be going over the entire leveling guide. So I'm going with the heavy iron balls. I find the strength scaling is quite nice on these, giving an A in scaling. Now at level 150 we got 50 vigor, 18 mind, 30 endurance, and 80 strength. Now if you're not at level 150, let's say you're like level 100, go with 30 vigor, or 30 strength. We are going to increase this as we continue to level up, but you want to get your vigor up. And also Faith and Arcane 15 and 16 allows us to give a huge boost to our damage, so I'd highly recommend going with that. As for endurance, you want to have it to a point where you can have up to 56 poise minimum, 51 at the very, very minimum. That allows us to medium roll as well. So going with whatever armor that can fit and give you that boost. And as for our talisman, we can go with something like the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia, since we attack extremely quickly, and also going with something like the we can add a kick to this and go with the Shattered Stone Talisman if you got the DLC. However, there are some others like the Charge Attack Axe Talisman, which is a really useful one because we get a really fast charge attack with this. And then also we can put something like, if you want to go jump attacks, you can do the Claw Talisman. But even as something like increasing our stamina recovery is nice because we attack so quickly, so you could go with something like that. So whatever one of these that you want to go with, but this will give us a big boost to our damage. You also could go with the Lord of Blood's Exaltation. This isn't a bleed weapon, you'd be using the Spike Fist if you wanted to go with that, but I'll show you a little trick here that we can go with. So typically we're just going to go into combat. I'll show you what this does for damage without any upgrades. So 4 hits will take out an Albinaric there, and we can hit a attack for 1500 damage. Now, the strategy that we want to be doing is we want to use our Blood Flame Blade there. That's going to add fire and bleed damage to it. And then Flame Grammy Strength is going to give us a buff to our damage. And then we can start combat off with Swarm of Flies. What's nice about Swarm of Flies when it hits is that, there we go, it's going to trigger the blood loss buildup that we want. And that's going to trigger our White Mask or Lord of Blood's Exaltation. And then we can go in for the kill there. So I'll put those items on just to show the damage potential if we got both of those. While this isn't a bleed build, we can use Blood Flame Blade to give us a bit of bleed buildup, and then also run with the White Mask to give ourselves that as well. So it becomes a 30% boost to our damage, which is really nice. But you do have to apply the Blood Flame Blade before you start combat, because that's going to give us that big boost to our damage. As well as Flame Grammy Strength is nice as well. But yeah, Swarm of Flies will guarantee you trigger blood loss build up really quickly. And it's really great against bosses too. We also want to two-hand the weapon, because that is going to give us those fast attacks that we can get off. And there we go, we jumped him and avoided him. The best benefit of this weapon is the charged heavy attack comes out so quickly here. And I find it looks pretty cool when you do it, so I like using it. And it also has a huge amount of posture damage, so that is incredibly useful. You can just tap R2, you don't have to do the charge attacks, but I recommend going for the charge attacks. They just do a bit more damage, and it's just worthwhile to go that extra bit because it doesn't take long to come out. Especially on a boss, you can get that off as well. I'm also using Royal Knight's Resolve, which I'll show off in a second, but we can also use something like Bloodhound Step to give ourselves extra mobility. I'm more of a fan of Bloodhound Step because that extra mobility actually does a big difference for us. But Royal Knight's Resolve, what this does is we're going to have a really high damaging charge attack there. You can't even really see the full benefit of it because we're able to just one-shot all of them there. But I'm a big fan of Bloodhound Step because against bosses, you want to get to the backside where they're not likely to hit you, and you can use that to get mobility. So for the Ash of War, Royal Knight's Resolve, and even Flame of the Red Mains is one that I enjoy. We have such a high faith or fire or strength scaling, so we can go with the fire attacks. Even Lifesteal Fist is not a bad one if you want to lead into more like the bleed builds. So I'll show you what that one looks like. You know what Bloodhound Step does. You just kind of dash forward, so that can be an option too. But the Lifesteal Fist there will give us our health back, which is really nice. And you can see it almost takes out the enemy there. So that was without even two-handing it, but I'll try to get damaged here so that you can see what that looks like. So he's going to whomp, and then we can go up behind him and... Oh, he's got the... Nice. It's a little tricky to get it off, but once you do, you stun lock, and then you get your health back. So that can be a useful one if you like going that route, but... oh, we're getting jumped there. I like to go with jump attacks too, because you get a good amount of mobility with this weapon. Just the range is very short, so that's one thing you got to keep in mind. Oh, we're almost taken out there. The range attacks is kind of the biggest weakness of this build, since we have to get extremely close. It's recommended that you try to get up front and literally, there we go, we got the critical hits off. Critical are really a big component of this build, so for the Wondrous Physic, I put the Opaline Bubble tier to resist the next attack, as well as the Cracked Stone Barb tier, as that one's going to give us increased posture damage. I'm already getting these posture breaks off, but it's just a lot of fun to go and get these critical hits in, so I'll just do that again. Charge attack, and then you can even go with the Crimson Assassin Dagger Talisman as well. That'll recover your health on critical hits, because you can break posture really easily. I used the Spiked Fist against the Elden Beast, and we were able to break its posture really easily. So yeah, the Assassin's Crimson Dagger critical hits restore HP. Really useful here. So there is an Iron Ball build in Elden Ring. This can be useful even in the Shadow of the Erd Tree. So yeah, if you found this video useful, please hit that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.